So the first thing you have to do is come to a common set of understanding about your problem, right? You have to understand the problem. And when you start this before, almost always, every company I've ever done this with, and I've done this several times now, every company has two sides to the problem. Marketing isn't doing what we need it to do and is a bunch of fluff balls wasting their time and energy, and sales ignores the leads and they're lazy bums and they're, spending, they pick up lunch and that's it, right? They don't follow up on my leads. So you get these two camps in some relative flavor of those two different sides. And they don't see the problem as a combined problem, that it's both of them that have the issue. So what we did in this particular case is we split the two audiences. It sounds a little bit non-intuitive, but we split the two audiences. We brought in an outside agency to interview in depth both of them to understand, okay, what are your processes? How are you compensated? How are you trained? Compensation, by the way, comes in monetarily and in other things like promotions, and how, what are you really compensated to do? What do you believe you're supposed to do? And then we mapped it out and said, okay, well, what is it when a lead happens? What happens to it? And we looked at it from the marketing side, and it was this spaghetti of stuff that was going on. And then we looked at it from the sales side, and essentially it was just a big pot where the spaghetti got dumped and turned cold, and nobody paid any attention to it at all. So then, once we had done it separately, we took the two groups, put them in the same room, and showed them the combined slide deck, and said, okay, here's what the salespeople said. And everybody in marketing went, "Rrr." And then we said, here's what the marketing people said. And everybody in sales went, "Rrr." And then we said, look, the combined problem is when you put the two of these things together, nothing matches, right? Sales, you're not doing what marketing thinks you wanted that you should be doing, and then we explained to them also, and this is really helpful, we brought back the information from Sirius, and we really started the conversation with this, which said, companies that focus on improving the alignment of these two groups, have an incredibly a result rate that's incredibly higher than companies that don't. And the research is hard and fast, and the charts are compelling from Sirius that show if you invest in marketing and sales alignment, you end up with a company that's going to be more successful. We got everybody to believe that, and then it became a joint problem that they had to solve together. And when they had that joint problem that they were trying to solve together, it stopped being finger pointing, except for inside of the conversation, which said, you're doing this, yeah, but I'm doing that, and it doesn't work. But they were talking to each other, not talking about each other, right? And it worked great. So that's how we got it started, and that drove all of the other improvements that they came up with. And then we let the team figure it out. The team figured out what we needed to do to build the tools and the processes and training and everything else.